He waited quietly outside the school gate every single afternoon, clutching the same worn backpack in his calloused hands. His clothes were always simple, his shoes scuffed from long days at work, and his eyes carried the weight of exhaustion, but also a light of determination. This was Daniel, a single father who had been raising his son, Ethan, alone ever since tragedy struck 3 years ago. His wife, and Ethan's mother, had passed away unexpectedly, leaving behind nothing but memories, a few photographs, and a promise Daniel had whispered at her bedside: "I'll raise him well. I'll never let him feel unloved." Every day after his shift at the factory, Daniel rushed to the school just so Ethan would see his father's face as he walked out. He wanted his son to know he was never alone, no matter how difficult life got. But what Ethan didn't know was that Daniel often skipped meals to save money for his school supplies, and sometimes walked home in the rain so he could afford a bus ticket for Ethan instead. Ethan's teacher, Ms. Rivera, had noticed something unusual. She often saw Daniel waiting, no matter the weather, whether the blazing sun scorched his skin or the winter wind cut through his thin jacket. He never complained, never asked for help, and always had a smile ready when Ethan came running into his arms. But she also noticed the small things others missed: Ethan's uniform, washed so many times it had begun to fade, his shoes, a size too small because Daniel couldn't afford new ones, and the way Ethan sometimes avoided joining school trips because he didn't want to burden his dad. One afternoon, Ms. Rivera approached Daniel. She found him standing quietly near the gate, his eyes following the children playing. She hesitated, then asked softly, "Mr. Daniels, why do you always wait out here? You know Ethan would find his way home." Daniel gave a faint smile. "I know. But I don't ever want him to walk out those doors and not see someone waiting. It's hard enough, not having his mom. I just want him to feel like he's never alone." His voice broke slightly, but he quickly turned away, embarrassed. That night, Ms. Rivera couldn't sleep. She thought about all the parents who hurried in expensive cars, dropping their kids without a second glance. Yet here was a man who had so little, but gave so much. She decided she had to do something. The next day, after school ended, Ms. Rivera asked Daniel and Ethan to come inside for a quick talk. Nervous, Daniel worried Ethan might have done something wrong. But instead, Ms. Rivera surprised them both. She explained how she had spoken to the school board, and together with some parents, they had organized a scholarship fund, not just for tuition, but for uniforms, books, even after-school programs. Ethan's name was the first on the list. Daniel was speechless. His eyes welled up with tears he could no longer hide. "I don't know how to thank you," he whispered, his voice trembling. Ethan clutched his.